everyone! Today I'm going to teach you how I make these Pom Pom Dahlias. This method is also suitable for polymer clay as well. And the cutters and the former, you can purchase it on my website www.chik.com. The center for the dahlias, you can use polystyrene little cone shape, or you can use modeling paste as well. Use a needle, poke the hole through the polystyrene first so that the wire is easier to get into the polystyrene, and I'm using 20 gauge wire. After I twisted the wire together and I still find the polystyrene not very secure with the wire, so I have used a little bit of hot glue in between the wire and the gap of the polystyrene. Use some modeling paste to roll out like a cone, and then bend the 20 gauge wire into a hook and use some edible glue on the wire, and then put it into the modeling paste and set it aside to dry. In this video, I'm using Saracino flower paste and Saracino edible color to make the pink color paste. Put some corn flour onto the surface so that your paste will not stick to the table. Using the small cutter and cut one shape out. And when you're cutting it, make sure you press onto the straight lines as well so that it gives you a cleaner cut from the cutter. Or you can turn it over and rub your fingers on the pattern and make the paste more clean. You will need to cut 6 petals out, and then each of the petals you cut them in half again, and then cut off one of the side of the edge like how I show you in the video now. Once all the little petals are cut out, put it underneath a bowl, or just to make sure they will stay soft for you while you are curling them. So use the ball tool, half on the petal, half on the mat, and then go around the edge of the little petals and continue to finish all of them. Put some edible glue onto the polystyrene bud, and then stick the little petal on individually, slightly overlap on top of each other. And on the last round of the petals, you can slightly tilt them away from the center of the bud. Before we start using the former, find the center point of the little circle and use a needle to poke it through. It didn't show well in the video, but in real, the former, the center point of the little circle is very clear, so you just poke that center point and then use a cocktail stick or something a little bit thicker to poke through the hole, so when the wire go through, it can fit thicker wire as well for the center. Now we move on to the body of the dahlia. You will need 7 of the large cutter shape, and if you have a pasta machine, it will be on setting number 5. If you roll it out yourself, it will be kind of like about 2mm thick for the paste, or a little bit thinner than 2mm. The tool I'm using now, it looks like a cone shape. I got mine from my PME fondant modeling tool set. Same again, you use the ball to half on the petal, half on the foam, and go around the edges. When I close the petal, it can stick together. If you find your petal doesn't stick together, put a little bit of edible glue where the joint is and then press it together. Put some corn flour onto the former. Make sure you put quite a bit on because it's plastic. It's harder for the flour paste to dry. To prevent it sticking to the plastic, make sure you put enough corn flour on before you put the flour paste on. Line up the inner edge of the petals and the step on the former. You can see I used the tool to point it out. Once you have done that, make the indent in the middle in the former. Continue to make the petals for the dahlia, and then put some edible glue where the flat surface and the indent of the little circle, and then place the other piece of flour paste onto the former, and then slot all the petals in between the petal which is on the former already. And if you see any air bubble, use a needle to poke it and let the air out. If some of the petals are too long, use the cone fondant tool and poke it back in towards the center of the flower. Towards the last 3 layers of the petals, you will find the edge is getting higher and higher, and the center of the flower is kind of slightly dipping lower and lower. Roll out some flour paste again, and this time you will need to use the small cutter, and you will need 2 shapes from the small cutter. Continue with all the steps, and then use some edible glue and place the last 2 pieces of the small flour paste onto the flower. Just make sure the center of the flower is clear for the polystyrene buds to go in. Put some edible glue in the center of the flower, and this time you will need to put some edible glue on the side petals, on the wall of the side petals. Pull the polystyrene bud to the base of the flower, and now this flower is finished. You can rest the flower and the former on a glass or on a shelf which the wire can go through, and I'll say about, it depends on the humidity of your house. With mine, my flower have rested for 4 hours, set aside to dry, and then I will take it out and then take away the former and I place it onto the glass so that the base of the flower have a chance to dry as well. But if you lift up the flower and you find the flower is still quite soft and can't hold the shape, then that means you will need to leave the flower in the former for a little bit longer. For a fuller, more ball shape, pom-pom shape of the dahlia, continue to watch this video. Turn the flower upside down. You can hang it or place it on a foam. Only put it on a foam when the flower petals are completely hardened. Roll out the flower paste and use the large cutter and cut 4 times for the petals. This time you will need to cut them out individually and stick them around in the flower side by side. All my products are available to purchase on my website www.chik.com, link on the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel for new videos and updates. Thank you for watching.